To get started, could you just tell us a bit about yourself and your business?
Basically, Swift is a community for graphic designers. Swift started out as a web platform, a SaaS or PaaS platform as a service to sell WordPress websites. And then when I sort of launched that, we realized that there was a need for a community. So we went through this long journey over the last year and a half to find the right fit for the community. So we started off in a LinkedIn group, which is still there, which is the free group. And then we started using a WhatsApp group, but then I wanted to monetize it. So then we moved to another platform, which I knew was just a temporary fix because it just didn't have the needs. And then I was looking for the next platform, which then I came across you guys. And to be honest, it was an instant perfect fit for me. Most of the stuff your app did out the box, and your support guys have been really supportive. Your support is like second to none. I've really enjoyed working with you guys.
What would you say were the main challenges you faced that drove you to Movement or drove you to look for something like Movement?
So the reason why it wasn't working before, because everything was fragmented. We had like feeds and all sorts of things, all directories, all in different places. And what I wanted to do is bring it all into an app, and I wanted an app vibe. That was the most important thing. I wanted something that people could save onto their phone and have that app experience with everything in one place. So that was what sold me on Movement, basically, was that they had that experience, and the feedback's been positive. I mean, I'm just in the process because I only launched them a week and a half ago, that I'm actually putting the feedback form together now to get their feedback on it. Early signs was very positive.
Amazing. Have you received any member feedback directly, like anything you could share?
So I've had one. She was in the free group and then she gave it a go, and she absolutely loves it. And she says it's just amazing, like how well fitting it is to what we need as a designer, because I need graphic designers can use it. So I've managed to be able to present it in a way that people feel like they're getting value for money. So yeah, she absolutely loves being part of the community already.
And were there other platforms that you were considering at the same time as Movement?
Until I saw Movement, and when I sort of gave it a bit of a trial, the others were quickly discounted. Circle was one, and the other one was MemberPress, I think. But I didn't feel like they had, I wasn't comfortable using them in the first place, just because they just didn't have what you guys have got is pretty special for what I was looking for. So yeah, it was an instant aha moment, which is what you want when you got users coming into your funnel.
And then what was it that specifically drew you to Movement? Do you remember what it was that made you kind of have that aha moment versus the other platforms?
I think the website explains it well in terms of what you offer. Like I say, the chats was probably the main thing, because before, the community, albeit was offering lots of other features, the main thing that people were using on a daily basis at pretty much every minute of the day was the WhatsApp group. So it was really important that the chats were good. And I just think that your platform, your user experience as a builder, as an admin, is very intuitive and easy to use. And I think that's one thing that's really important when you're onboarding new people, as well as obviously good responsive support.
And how did you find the experience of setting up the app in Movement?
So it took a little while to understand like how it all, especially around the content and the dynamic content, that took me a little while to work out, and I had to like redo bits. But because it's like kind of a private project almost, like alongside my main business at the moment, that I was able to put time into it. How I basically learned was seeing your templates and using your templates to start with, and seeing how that content pulls in.
What features did you particularly enjoy or definitely like need to utilize for your community?
I use it mainly, like I create sort of pages and then pull them in dynamically now, so like events and things like that. So events was really good. Otherwise, I'll just build out the pages how I see now and save them as a template, and then that's what I use. So saving as templates.
And what would you say to someone who wants to build a community like yours but doesn't even know where to start?
Just utilize the support team. You guys are good at support, and just start off with using the sort of templates to start with, and go, start with templates and then start building out your own pages as you get more confident.
And how did you go about figuring out the structure and layout for your app? Did you use any tools or anything like that to get it mapped out?
No, I mean, my background's design, sort of user experience anyway. I just try to map it out myself plus I'm a graphic designer talking to, and my communities for graphic designers. So I kind of know like how their brain functions. But yeah, it was really trying to work out what was going to be the sort of the most important parts to have on the sticky menu down at the bottom of it on mobile, and then in the burger menu, just giving them a logical way to navigate through all the features.
What tangible benefits or measurable impact have you experienced since launching the app? I know it's still early days and you're in the trial phase, but is there anything you've already noticed?
One of the main goals for moving away from WhatsApp to an app was that to slow down everybody's content. It sounds a bit counterproductive, but the WhatsApp group was so crazy that your notifications going off all the time, or you're missing stuff because you're new to them. So one of the objectives of moving to an app was that people could have more control over their notifications, and they can be as much as part of it as they want, or as little. The actual chat has really calmed down, which I think is a good thing, because people obviously got a day job to do as well. So that's probably the main thing I've noticed, which is kind of what we wanted. The feedback that we got was that the WhatsApp group was too overwhelming and people were actually avoiding it, whereas before that happened, these people were quite engaged. So the idea is that we can give them all the functions. I wanted to be the app to be more of a holistic experience rather than just a chat. We wanted people to go in there, and if you wanted a sort of 10 minutes downtime from like work, is actually it's almost be like a Facebook, but for designers. So people would just go and have a browse for 10 minutes, then get crack on with their work. So that was the whole mindset of moving to the app.
So then has it also changed your business? I guess you said you wanted to bring all the tools in one. Have you been able to consolidate any of your costs, or have you changed your pricing model with your community, or how has that kind of worked?
For the moment, the price is remaining the same, but it will certainly reduce my admin time, which is the cost of the business essentially. So yeah, it feels a lot more streamlined. It feels ready to scale now. I felt like it was never quite at a point where we had the engagement that was always going to struggle with scaling, because one of the main reasons I like Movement is that once they stop paying, or you can't take payment, they obviously get thrown out of the community, whereas the tool we was using before, that would be a manual thing.
Well, that's good to know. What tips would you have for others who are looking to level up the design of their app, maybe as a small business?
If they've got an idea and they've got an audience to sell it to, then I would definitely recommend Movement from that perspective. I think when you're looking at building an app, you also got to look in return on investment. I think your fees are, certainly for the two lower tiers, are reasonable. The middle tier that we're on, I think it delivers what you need, and just think about your user experience and what they're looking for, and keep your design simple and straightforward.
Going back to the whole start of Swift and the community, where did the idea come from, and kind of why did you start the community in the beginning?
I started on the platform to help graphic designers sell websites. As a graphic designer myself, I started selling websites in 2009, and I built a web agency with staff and all the rest of it. I built the Swift platform along with my team to make it easy for designers with no web experience, even knowing how to sell websites, but they wanted to bring in the income because their clients often ask for websites, is that they can use the Swift platform to go on there, choose a theme, it comes delivered in minutes, and then we support them for a monthly fee, which is £35 a month. So when I started onboarding clients, I realized that actually something was missing, was that there wasn't really anywhere for them to hang out in, the designers that was. And when I mentioned about the community, they was like really up for it. So that's when I thought I would give it a go. And I just had a moment beginning of last year where I just thought, I'm just going to give this a go. I'm going to commit 6 months to building a community. So I started a LinkedIn group, and then I kept pushing content out onto LinkedIn. And then suddenly I got one person join, and I was like, oh no, I've now got to start talking to this person and keep them entertained. So it was just me and them in the community. And then another one joined, another one joined, and then we're up to 660 members in the LinkedIn group. And then that's when I decided that actually it was becoming quite a lot of work for me to do it as a nice thing to do, and I wanted to sort of try and turn it into a revenue making model. And that's when I started on the journey. So in September last year, I created a free WhatsApp group to try and keep people more and more engaged from the LinkedIn group. We had about 50 people in that group, and then it was just crazy. In January this year, I decided that I was going to monetize the WhatsApp group, and then the next journey was building this app. So it's from the point where I wanted to really take it serious last September to now, It's moved quite quickly, not as quick as I'd like, but I promised myself that I'd keep costs down by doing it all myself rather than using anybody else in my team. My goal is to, within 12 months, to get 2,000 people subscribing to the app.
It actually does sound like you've grown quickly, and like the idea and community have really come to life quickly. Do you remember how long it took you to kind of build out your app with Movement?
I was on holiday. I took my laptop with us, and I started in the back end of May, I think. So yeah, so it's probably been like 6 weeks. I mean, I've got no idea how many hours I've spent on it. I've spent lots of hours, but it's just enjoyable to use. Like I've used software in the past that's just been a headache, and you feel like you're battling all the time to try and get what you need. But like I say, you don't stop your support. Like as you guys scale, try and keep your support up as it is, because you've got a really nice approach and and a really personable approach.
Looking ahead, what's next for the Swift community? Like, what's the dream for your community and the app?
The main thing for me and what I'm looking to achieve with the community is to drive traffic to the public areas of the community. So like the directory, I've created this thing called Designer Spotlights, which is basically a case study page. The idea is that traffic can come in, so marketing managers, business owners, agency owners looking for a graphic designer can go in and browse these public areas to find their next designer. So I'm aiming the next 12 months to really make Swift the go-to place for graphic designers and to find a graphic designer in the UK.